All right, hello. Welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We're back tonight. We're playing more Swords of the Serpentine, and we're doing things a little different. So it's possible Jeremy might turn into a frozen man. So if that happens tonight, please indicate in chat in case we don't see it, as we're doing little things. Shit. He's already gone. See, their problem is like Jeremy is so good at just remaining ridiculously still. I'm not sure
he really is.
Yeah.
He really is.
And print screen. Early old days. And print screen. I have so many screenshots of Jeremy just doing that silly little thing. Are you there, Jeremy? You good to go?
Yeah, of course. I don't see the issue.
Okay.
That's the spirit.
Right. There we go. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to let Discords know that we're playing. And now we have. Okay. So this is gonna be an interesting ep because we ended on a fun little moment, and this is like I think this is going to be the finale of our current arc, and depending on how things go, could be the finale of our Source of the Serpentine campaign. Totally could be that too, because if things go poorly for you all, that could be it, or great. Things could just go great as well. So there's that.
I feel like Fortuna especially is like really all top of the world, or not. Like other people could maybe have a middle of the road option, but I don't think Fortuna like it's one or the other.
They're not going to ride or die with you.
I'm preparing myself.
Point.
I mean, they could choose self-preservation and not go down with Fortuna, but Fortuna is either going down or right into the top of the pile with a crown of poop on her head.
I thought everyone was ride or die. Like,
we've been building for 10 years. It's ride or die.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yep. You've been at this for a long time.
Ages.
I feel like someone before stream made some comment.
Oh yeah, Arkadiy made flat out just be like, no, I did my best for you people, and you're just a train wreck. So
Aaron's ride or die. Arkadiy
Arkadiy keeps on coming up with really good plans, and nobody listens to him. So he's like, you know what? The hell with this shit.
Yeah, the scriptorium thing cracked me up too, because you figured it out, and then it took like, and then Aaron had to literally yell at people. It was so funny. Oh goodness! But now things
Arkadiy's
be great.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I have every faith and confidence that tonight will be a session, and it will eventually end.
That you know what, where that bar is set, that feels achievable.
Okay. Yeah.
I think. Didn't we get the exact same speech at the end of Simbaroom?
That's right. Didn't I? Oh, jeez. Hey, guys, we're good in Arzium. Everything went great. Guys, we're good in Werewolf. E07, but he made his choice. He made it. The rest of you survived. Everything's fine.
Fact.
I shouldn't have survived Werewolf.
Yeah,
that's true.
We had bright futures ahead of us in Arzium, like a world to explore. And like,
you guys are gonna get a Zeppelin and everything. Gonna start traveling around in an airship.
Yeah,
great.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm still kind of shocked about Simbaroom because I had a night I had a couple plans with that one where I could go this way or that, but hey, it happened. You gotta run with it. It was fine. But I very distinctly remember a very similar situation in that one where Aaron's character was like, "Yeah, we shouldn't do this," and everyone was like, "Hey, let's do this," and then you all died.
To be fair, I said this is going to be funny. And did it anyway.
It was pretty funny.
He's looking out at the street. He's looking up at the mansion. He's like, "This is a really bad idea."
I don't disagree, but I'm going to do it for the bit.
Yeah, the idea I had to keep that one going was to like have us to just fast forward to the end of the campaign when like the big monster gets released and all sorts of stuff happens, and just have like you guys have been getting drained for blood in the basement, and so you crawl up out of that, having missed your opportunity to kill the monster and all the destruction rain. But I was like, nah, never mind. We're good.
Ooh.
So that was the idea. But hey, I could still do it technically, I suppose. But anyhow,
it's true.
All right, enough stalling. Let's get going. Let's get everyone killed. So last time around, you all were searching through the scriptorium, this hidden location that you found while You're essentially your house has been like unfolding, right? You can all getting access to all these new locations and things like that. So you found all sorts of stuff. Vincent, I think, found the Orsyth Mainwallen's grimoire at one point. You found a ledger chronicling various matriarch succession rights, and you found an exploded schematic of the state itself. Vincent, when you took the grimoire, you started to hear the wails of imprisoned sorcerers in your mind. And then in the ledger, Solavita, you saw your mother's name was scratched off at one point in a previous generation and marked off as a dissident. Fortuna, you learned that your mother had once challenged for matriarch, failed, and died. Let's see. The ledger was also tracking the current matriarch succession stuff, and so it confirmed that Randy is in fact a member of the Mainwallens, and also a handful of people have already died. You found some stuff. You found some other things like various scrolls, some stuff from Edda, and that revealed that Althavira was basically trying to make a series of offerings, and that by doing so, that would gain access to this hall that you need to call this vote. And you all decided to use that map that you got, the schematic, and that took you to the Tholos. There, you found Father Macaulay, who is a Gilio Hill neighborhood chaplain or priest for Denari, and a couple of his like Inquisitor bodyguard types. They were examining a Borda shrine that some of you have seen before. Arkadiy, you snuck up, you heard them talking about like they were in shock, they were going to bring charges against you, all sorts of horrible things. And then you took them out like that. You took out both of his bodyguards like in a snap. The rest of you, with the exception of Chauncey, joined in to help kill Macaulay. And so then you started to feed the bodies as offerings to Borda. Some of you got refreshes because of that. I think Chauncey was not involved. A few of you tried to double tap, but that didn't work out as great as you hoped. Then there's definitely a lot of strife between Chauncey and the rest of the group. But nonetheless, you all continued. You went over to the Hanging Gardens, which was one of the other offering sites. You found a couple of your cousins, including the Corteza cousins who had sheltered you a couple of years ago when the pirates were trying to assassinate you. And you found the gardens had turned into sort of like this hanging ziggurat type of construction. It had all these vines, vegetation everywhere. At the top, Arkadiy, you found what looked like would probably have been the offering, but has already been done. And then a door was opened. Vincent, Solavita, you looked at it. You realized it had some kind of sorcery weaving through it, but you didn't think it was going to have any effect on any of you all. It was only going to be people who weren't of the Mainwallen bloodline. And so all of you descended. You found a servant or two's body along the way, clearly not part of the bloodline. And then at the very bottom of the stairs, as you came in, you found what you have now learned, and from actually looking at a portrait at one point, is the Hall of Thirst. And you saw all of your living family members. You saw Althavira, you saw Pelletier, all of those were there. Althavira had these serpents that were protruding from her back and like resting on her shoulders at this point, moving like they were actively alive. And then you saw she had two, they certainly look like they're undead guards. Fabrizio Bonaventure, the heir to the Bonaventure family once Vittorio dies, and Felipe Carnuccio, heir to the Carnuccios and friend of Chauncey, who taught him how to fence. And that is where we ended up. All right. Let me get a touch of music going, and let me...
Just as a note, Mikhail wasn't just like a neighborhood. His church was on the Bonaventure land. He had chosen his side.
That is true. He was definitely... actually, no, it was on the Carnuccio. It was on the Carnuccio property, because Carnuccios are the ones that were...
They're the more religious. Time.
Oh,
yeah, but
okay. I just, in my early notes, I have him on Bonaventures.
Yeah.
I'd have to double check, but it was intended to be Carnuccio, so it's possible.
Okay.
At some point.
Yeah.
Okay. So you all come in. You see, just to give you a visual reminder of refresher of the room itself. It is a long hall. And you can see it's very familiar to a few of you who saw the painting in that one chamber that you gained access to from Orsyth's workshop. But it's a very long hall. It's segmented by several of these concrete arches. It smells of wine and of copper to some degree. And you can see that along each wall on either side of you, there are all these alcoves. There's about 9 per side. And each of them has what looks like an ornate fountain and a bunch of stains on the floor as well. You can see some of these fountains are shaped like animals. Others are like humans that are like gesturing like raised vessels. And at the far end, there next to where you see Altavira is like this shallow basin. It's like an altar itself. And there's like a tasting table right next to it with all sorts of goblets and such. And so that's what the room looks like. You all are about, I would put you at about like somewhere in the neighborhood of like 15 to 20 meters away. It's probably like a 60-foot long hall between where you currently stand at the base of the stairs and where she stands. When you step in and you make yourselves visible, Altavira kind of turns because she has a goblet in her hand. The snakes are moving, kind of dancing around here and there. You see Pelletier, you see Randy, you see basically every living Mainwallen that you know is currently in the city of Eversinks. There probably are others outside of the city, but these are who you know were invited. She looks at you and she says, "Well, it wouldn't be the first time. You're 2 or 3 steps behind. Better late than never. Shall we get on with this?" And you can tell that she's saying it with some level of like there's some level, like it's like she's forcing it, like she's kind of not all there. And those of you that are fairly perceptive, her voice kind of undulates. You can hear like the usual Altavira voice come in, but then there's like this secondary element that's kind of causing it to undulate a little bit. What are you all doing?
The first one in the room, since I was leading down the stairs, I'd say, "You're not quite there, Altavia. Not right in the head. We've become parched chasing you here." I'll pick up a goblet.
Okay. So if you do, that means you're walking all the way down the hall towards where she is to pick up a goblet. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, we're entering this room anyways. Might as well.
Okay. So Vincent just starts walking past. You can see as you walk past Vincent, there are, again, familiar people. You see Randy, you see Pelletier, and you see a bunch of these new people that Fortuna has been recruiting. A couple older, Pelletier generation people who probably are just here to do the vote and maybe not too talkative. But not counting yourselves, there are, I think, 12 people in total in the room. So there's something those in that range. What about the rest of you? As you see Vincent start walking down the hall.
So Elvita, in your grandmotherly skin book thing, did you ever mention when somebody's possessed, are they still in there? Or are they just like?
Unfortunately, I think you wanted to talk to probably Vincent knows a little bit more about the ghost stuff. I just deal with magic, and that's like different shit.
Okay.
I don't touch the dead stuff.
I mean, you've got to draw a line somewhere.
Yes. I like the rocks. You see those animal statues? And I'll lean in towards Chauncey's here. I'll definitely animate one to punch her in Olivera into the face if shit goes bad. When you're right, when shit goes bad.
All right.
Fortuna's I made myself a note of this at the very end of last session. Fortuna's going to go over to Chauncey. Cousin, we're very thankful to have you with us. Tell me that this will turn out okay. Yes, this is going to turn out okay.
Well, it's going to be as good as it could possibly be. You are by far the best option in the room, and I believe that you will work harder than anybody, short of a mad woman possessed by an even crazier spirit. Of all the options, you are the least worst. No, I'm terribly sorry. Now, I don't know what to do about that, but I think if somebody's going to do it, it's going to be you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Fortuna's going to 1 of 10 morale. So Fortuna's
that's rough.
Getting some sway healing support from Chauncey is what this conversation is.
Okay.
Oh, is that what this is? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I picked it up right away.
Here's the thing. I'd like to think that somewhere in there, Altavia is still there. What we need to do is to get her riled up because she's being controlled. And I don't think Altavia likes to be controlled. And what you need to do is get her so pissed off that she will fight those shackles. And if anybody knows how to get under her skin to really just fucking piss her off, it's you. You're the one
that's
to
true.
do this.
Fortuna, yes, I agree. You can piss her off really well, really easily. It's a skill.
Give her the scowl.
Yes.
Yes.
Fortuna's game face is just that, like, just sucked on a lemon, just displeased.
Lemon face, lion face.
She just looks at Solovita and sort of does the, like, disappointed ant, like, face.
That's a good one to do too. Yeah, that will really piss her off because it's condescending.
And this is making Fortuna feel better. So, Jeremy, however many sway points you can spare to boost my morale.
Okay.
While you're doing that, Arkadiy, what are you up to?
So Arkadiy will start to walk down behind Vincent, but he's only going to go about halfway down the hall, and then he's like, "Cousin, Altavia, are we speaking with you or Castellar? Who is puppet master?"
We are one at this juncture. What is it you want, Arkadiy?
Castellar is man, matriarch must be woman. You are not either. You are a disgusting travesty of humanity. And then he's going to kind of slip behind some people and just sort of try to fade away.
Well, we thank you for sharing your feedback there, Arkadiy. It's nice of you to finally concern yourself with family business after the last 10 years of constantly telling us you weren't part of it. Perhaps all of us could very quickly dismiss him in his words as he has dismissed the good Mainwallen name.
And you see amongst the 12, there are several people who kind of nod along, and they're like, "Yeah, well said, Miss Altavia. Well said." These people kind of like hold up a goblet at this point. You can tell she's got some people on her side in here.
Arkadiy doesn't care. He's assuming that they're gonna have to kill her. So he's like, man, not an issue at this point.
Okay. All right. So Vincent, you get up, you get a goblet. You can see that none of them are matching. They're all the sort of different varieties. And then I would say both Arkadiy and Vincent noticed this as you were walking down. Each of the alcoves is different. Like every one of these like statues in the fountains, like again, all of them are like protruding from this little alcove that they're in. And you can see that each of them has like a different emblem, and a lot of them look vaguely familiar. Some almost look like architectural in nature, similar to like the guilds of architects and canal watchers. Some are a little bit more arcane. Some look more militaristic, martial in some way, some mercantile. And you can see that each one of these alcoves seems to correspond to like a role or a or specific status that you might have taken. And so you can see, for instance, like Randy is off in like this mercantile space because you guys have a bar and a workshop together and such, right? But then you can see that Pelletier, he can see he's more by some up towards the front, and where you can just see this sort of dilettante-like noble gesture. It just doesn't really seem to be corresponding to any kind of any sort of employment or industry. So Vincent, you get your goblet. As you reach down, you get the feeling that you're being watched. And when you look out of the corner of your eye, you can see one of the serpents that is resting on her shoulders is like up off of it and kind of turned down and looking at you right now. And you also see the eyes of Felipe Carnuccio in this horrific state of undead, staring at you as well, kind of just watching with this dead face. Where do you go once you get your goblet?
I'll wait around at the table, taking a sniff at the goblet before I take a swig. Observing.
Oh, they're empty, by the way.
Oh, they're empty.
Empty
okay, if there's a fountain, then I'd like to go fill it up.
Okay. So do you try to find one that you see somebody familiar in, or do you try to find one that is more is there a particular place that you're looking to go?
You said there are different alcoves for like different roles. Then I'd find one that fits my description.
Okay. So you step over and you can see that there's one that bears a similar like sigil to maybe something that you've seen in your study of sorcery, right? Maybe it's not serpentine magic, but it's definitely a familiar pattern to suggest something in like the Lost College tomes, or something that you have seen in some of the books that Solavita maybe has fished out of the lower levels of Eversing. Things that would be very familiar to people of your study. You do notice that there is one person already in this little alcove with you. It is a man in his sort of middling years that looks vaguely familiar to you. You might have seen him once or twice over the past 10 years. You know that he's not one of Fortuna's more recent acquisitions. He's somebody who probably predates you. And you can see that his beard is a little bit disheveled, and he has like a little bit of a crazy look in his eye. But he steps aside, and you can see that there is a basin in the alcove. And then the statue itself, again, they're all like either animals or people, and it looks like something is going to spout out of it. And so he's holding like his like an empty goblet as well. What about the rest of you as you see Vincent get his goblet and kind of move off to his voting booth?
I would say Fortuna wants to like make the rounds. So like she definitely recognizes that this is a voting situation. So she kind of wants to like hit each of these alcoves and see who's in it and say her hellos. And, like this feels, almost political rally-ish. Like you've got to make FaceTime with everybody kind of a thing. Which she thinks is going to irritate Eltavira.
You start to do that. And she will quickly,
now, Fortuna, if you wanted to speak with everyone, perhaps you could have arrived sooner. We've all been waiting. I think all of us can agree it's best if we get this show on the road. Yes?
Oh, well, Cousin Eltavira, if only this were you. And this was truly you and I. But we both know that's not true.
She looks at you. You didn't ask her a question, so she's just waiting at this point.
How long has...
Oh, Fortuna, you have been propped up by your friendly little gang of fools. Arkadiy, Chauncey, and Vincent, and Solavita. So if I have myself an assistant, then so be it. You've had 2 pet sorcerers, one of whom was imprisoned for 12 years at your disposal. Excuse me if I found a way to even out the odds. Seems only fair, doesn't it?
Oh, even out the odds. So you just kill off any members of the family that you think will not vote for you. That's how we do these things now?
No, that is how we have always done these things. And perhaps if you would have spent more time looking into the history of this family that you wish to lead, you would know this already. But all you care about is power, not about legacy.
That's what it is. It's propriety and tradition, right? And so that's why we invite in people that aren't members of the family to be here at the vote, correct? We should shoo away Arkadiy for not espousing the main one name, but let's invite these people that aren't actually members of the family. Oh, and yes, isn't this a matriarchy? Isn't this a matriarchy? But maybe Altavir is willing to just take the scraps of the man who's going to take control. Is that what you need? You want a man to take over? That's tradition.
Once again, another member of this parade of Fortuna's miscreants and misfits who can't be bothered to show their face in Main Wallen Estate, who have married against our wishes into a lesser family and spends more time with the, I'm so sorry, Pelletier, the Scarpaccios than they do with the Main Wallens. And I'm sorry, what is the name of your tavern again? The Legitimate Bastard, yes.
Yes.
Much like Arkadiy, you have not seemed to care too much about the Main Wallen legacy, so excuse me if I don't listen much, nor do any of us, to you lecturing us now on who and who shouldn't be involved in this process.
Oh, you were the one that brought up propriety. I'm simply asking you to hold yourself to the very standards you espouse.
Chauncey, quiet. As you have already stated, this is a matriarchy. Fortuna, you have had two men speak for you.
Because you are not proposing
Chauncey,
yourself.
I am going to warn you one more time, and
Chauncey,
then I'm going to kill you.
I will get you a goblet, Chauncey, and we will vote on this as we do. I will get you a goblet. And Fortuna will kind of go down and
Olivera, you have always spoken far too much. And so Levite is also going to sigh and walk towards picking up a goblet. Were you part of the vote that got rid of my mother? I don't see any lineage under your waist.
Your mother was never up for a vote, fool. What is
I wasn't saying she was, but
you just asked if I was part of a contingent that voted for her. You very much
not vote.
Said
I said
did.
got rid of.
She was dismissed as not an option.
I had nothing to do with your mother's death.
Well,
did you have anything to do with labeling her as being
She would have been your main competition if she was here today.
Your mother sought to destruct our entire family. She wanted to pull it apart and bury it. No, I don't think she had many friends within the bloodline. She was, I'm sorry to say, very ill-liked. Pelletier can attest to that. Pelletier, darling. I'm so very sorry to say, Solavita, your mother did actually express on several occasions a severe disdain for the family and our practices. So I also had nothing to do with her demise. I can't confirm nor deny Altavira's role. That's enough, Pelletier.
Oh, yes, very neutral.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
And so Fortuna will kind of hand Chauncey a goblet. There's probably a spot perfectly suited to you.
I'm going to go talk to Randy. Randy, where the fuck is my wife?
I think we need to get through this. Find an of the 9 alcoves. She'll kind of see if there's one that seems to fit Chauncey.
Yeah, I mean, there's there's like mercantile sigils and stuff like you can kind of tell, like, this has the idea of like stacks of coin and such. Others that seem to be more like legal. Not that any of you would focus on that, but you can see like a gavel and such, and like the weighing of scales, things like that. And it doesn't seem like anyone's really holding too heavily towards it, but it just seems to be how this hall is broken out.
I suppose there's probably one for architects you mentioned earlier.
Yes, there is, for sure. Absolutely.
Is there anybody else in that alcove right now?
Give me a D6 roll.
Certainly. 6.
Ooh.
Okay. You are standing next to a 30-something woman, a little bit younger than you, but not horrifically younger. And she has very dark hair, very tan skin, and you can see that her hands themselves, her hands are not done up but they're kind of rough around the edges. This is a one by the name of Lavinia. I don't know. You may have come into contact with her during yours and Edda's like rebuilding of the main walls. So it could be somebody.
And is she, so I don't know anything about her, like if she would favor Fortuna or Oliveira?
You can ask her. It's something you can always ask.
That is true. So I will attempt to make small talk with my antisocial character.
Okay. She'll look at you and kind of nod.
Fortuna?
She looks around to see if anyone's watching her.
Oh, sorry.
And
Fortuna?
Then she leans in.
No, I'm sorry, Miss Solivita, but I'm going to vote for the one who could kill us all if we make her angry.
Well, I mean, if she gets to be the head, then she's going to get all of us killed because of how she looks.
Right now, I am just worried about getting out of the mansion alive.
Well,
I'll worry about that tomorrow.
How about this? If you vote for Fortuna and not her, I will make sure that you get out alive. You can stand behind me.
Who exactly are you to make such a promise?
The person who could poison you very easily.
She looks at you and steps away. No, I think I'll vote for Althavira. You're no different, threatening to poison me. And she just kind of steps out into the hall at this point, and she starts to say it even louder so that Althavira can hear it.
I love that persuasive technique.
Oh dear.
So good.
Don't vote for the one that's going to kill you. Vote for not
for me,
because I won't kill
who could
you.
also kill you, but is choosing not to kill you.
No.
The exact same thing she's doing.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Social interactions, not Solovita's forte.
No, fair enough. Okay. Is there anything anybody else is looking to do? As you can see that Althavira is gearing up to call for a vote.
I do want to find Randy and ask him, because he was initially escorting Valentina. That's where my wife is.
Hey, she's fine. Everything's fine. She found that Juliana character and a couple of other folks and such. She's with that Bonaventure guy, the big fat one. What's his name? The big guy. Yeah. So she's okay. She's fine. She was just, I was feeling really thirsty, and like I felt like a couple other folks, like Fiorenza over there, like she was feeling it too. And then like I saw the Cortezes, like they started. We all just kind of, I don't know. It was like a compulsion. That's a big word for me, but that's what it was. That's what it felt like.
I hear you. So we're gonna get Fortuna elected, and then we're gonna go down to the Lucky Bastard, the Magnificent Bastard, and we're gonna do top shelf.
I got you, buddy. Don't worry. Fortuna's got my vote. Don't worry. Good.
Okay. So, does anybody else have anything else that they're looking to do before a called vote? Okay.
Oh boy.
So then you can see Althavira like kind of looks to you all and says, like she pulls out this knife. She sets her goblet down on like this basin next to the table, and she just cuts her hand, and it sort of spills, like lets the blood drip down to the basin. I vote for Althavira. And then you can see she picks her goblet up and starts to walk down with her bodyguards towards the same place where Vincent has been standing with the other sorcerers. You can see she just kind of wanders down in that direction at this point. You see Pelletier, he gets up and then he slinks back into this alcove and he waits. As you can see, and then he kind of sneaks back as he doesn't want to be the second vote. Do any of you try to jump in line? Or anyone tries to go up and do the vote?
Fortuna, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
You go up, second one up, you say your name, you do follow the same practice, and you can see blood spills into this basin. Others? Anybody else?
Yeah, I've been ready to do so. So I'll come up and do the same.
And then the guy who's next to you, Giordano, he follows you. Who do you say, Vincent? Who do you vote for? It's so funny.
It would be but no.
So Altamira. Everyone turns around and just knifes Fortuna, and you guys are fine.
Well,
I had a secret conversation on the side, Melissa. Sorry.
Right.
That would be the best.
Condescending, disappointed face, and suddenly everybody on the screen just votes Altamira.
It's just like Caesar. Just everyone puts a knife in. Yeah.
Right. Of course.
Okay. So you go up. You see the guy who follows you says Altamira. And like both return. He doesn't like hold any animosity to you, and you just see a couple others come up. Some people say Fortuna, some people say Altamira. You know, they kind of come up. You see people parading. Some of your new recruits, Fortuna like look at you. Some of them like give you a very cautious smile, say your name. Others, like you can tell, are trying not to look at you and then say Altamira's name. And so you can definitely tell that there's like a mix of votes coming and going. Does anyone do anything unexpected?
I mean, if it's possible to pretend like trying to move toward
points here depends, right?
Would you say start with Long? Long, what did you say?
I was saying we should be like spending some points, get some like sway on our side, right?
You certainly could do that. Possible. You can spend points to potentially try to sway some people for sure. Just tell me who it is and how. Like all those spendable points are there for sure. Chauncey, what were you going to say?
Well, for example, like we kind of have the line, and Chauncey will pretend like he's trying to track towards the front line, but all he's really trying to do is kind of like, I'm torn between charm or scurrilous rumor, but I feel like this is a better scurrilous rumor thing. Like really play up the story of like how the ghost that's possessed me. Like you remember the age of assassination, right? You know about the history of that time. Do you remember what happened to our family? It's the whole reason. I know that she put down Arkadiy. There's the whole thing with Carmine and Falcone. But do you know why that happened? It's because of him, right? The man who caused the split in our family in the first place is the same one that is possessing her right now. Is that really what we want? And just kind of like, as he's pretending like he's moving up to vote, all he's really doing is like being a little gossip monger amongst them. So maybe if there's people that are on the fence.
Yeah. You're going to make a spend?
Yeah.
Okay. I will say as you're moving up, you kind of see a line begins to form as everyone comes up because there's a whole process. You have to you literally have to drop blood into the basin. And you can see there's a little process. Some people are less enjoying the act of cutting themselves. But you get you kind of get into the line, like you and there's Randy, and you're kind of talking this up and you spend a point. And I'll say you get the Corteza's attention as like Aloysius turns around and he kind of is like the younger one, and he's kind of looking at you. What is this? She is possessed? What does it you mean? She is possessed?
Yes.
Do you mean this literally, or is this a metaphor?
Yes, literally. She is literally possessed by that sorceress bastard, the one who led to the split in the family in the first place. And you know that
they have.
If it was just Altamira, that's one thing. I'm so sorry.
I see. I understand. I not fully understand the history. It seems to be here, but my father, however, is they are of the same generation. You see, they went to school together. They know each other, and he is a very stubborn man. He has he's directed me to vote for. Well, vote for strength. Strength votes for strength, you see.
Yes.
Sometimes
when we listen to others, when we're supposed to listen to the letter of the law versus the spirit, and I don't think he would support somebody taking advantage of his schoolmate. I think if he truly understood what was happening, he would be outraged. In fact, I think it's against your father's wishes to vote for this despicable act. How dare that abomination betray your father's trust?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. You are very wise. You are very wise, Chauncey. You are very wise.
And it's like right as it looks like Franco, his father, is about to like cut his hand, he like rushes up and like whispers something into the ear of his father, who like looks around, looks at Altavira, looks down at you, and then looks at Altavira. One of the snakes on the shoulders gets up and kind of snaps at him, and he winces back, cuts his hand. And the old man says, "Hey, I vote for Tuna." And then the kid follows, the son follows, and you can see a few more gone. It's certainly not unanimous, but definitely a few more started to drift in Fortuna's direction. All right. Anybody else doing anything out of the ordinary?
Can I see Arkadiy? Or
Can
are
she
you
see Arkadiy?
Yeah, Arkadiy's out. Yeah, he's not
Okay.
hiding yet. He's just
Okay.
back in the crowds. But he's not hiding.
Solavita will slink up to Arkadiy. Okay, so I've got the Mind Wash Tonic, which will knock people out right away. And I also have I did some experimenting in the last 5 years, and there's an old family recipe that it calls itself an antidote, but it also is essentially a severe poison. Eh?
Poison is good. Yes.
Okay. Would you, Mr. Assassin, like to take the bottle of severe poison? Or some of it?
By all means. Perhaps it will come in handy.
Okay.
We shall see.
And maybe knock down a few of the Altavira votes before
Well,
they happen?
I don't know that we want to attack family.
Okay.
But
You're better at that than I am. So I will leave it to you. I will go vote for
Okay.
Fortuna now.
Okay. So once all is said and done, as you all go up, vote, return, go up, vote, return, you do notice that Fortuna certainly has a larger number. There are 4 votes for Altavira, and the rest are for Fortuna. Obviously, Altavira voted for herself. Giordano, and who is the other sorcerer next to Vincent, and then the one in the same alcove that Solavita threatened with poison, Lavinia, she voted for Altavira, and then the new recruit, Ercola, who was kind of averting his eyes as he passed you, Fortuna, out of shame, voted as well. Pelletier was the last one, and you guys did enough work on him that he actually, and then he started counting the numbers, and he's like,
well, I am so very sorry, Altavira. This is for the family. I care so deeply, as you know, about just vote you win back. Oh, of course, Fortuna. Oh, Jesus. Oh, goodness. Oh,
and then once his blood hits the basin, you all hear the sounds of mechanisms in the alcoves, and you can see pouring out of each of these fountains is wine of some kind. This thick red wine begins to pool in the alcoves near you. And you can see like Altavir here that goes and fills her goblet and takes a swig down, and like Pelletier does the same thing, and he kind of takes a swig, and you notice that everybody else kind of starts to follow that pattern, going over and just filling and drinking. Do you all follow suit, or do you do something off script?
It's been a long night. I'll quench my thirst.
Okay. Excellent.
Can Fortuna do like I just want to make sure that she does she think she knows what's going to happen after we kind of drink the wine? So if there's like a spend with like Forgotten Lore or anything like that, just
sure.
To,
if you want to spend a thing of Forgotten Lore,
yeah,
maybe in the process of going through some of those scrolls, because you did get like a partial reconstruction of some of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you recall, maybe it comes to your mind, because it's not just about culling, but it's about reducing the vote, and you start to put something together. When you were looking at that red ledger and you saw the various lines of people being struck out, they weren't all like Solavita's mother or like your own mother. Some of them were just kind of stricken out, and it was like during vote, and it makes you think that maybe some of the people who just drank from the goblet aren't going to enjoy what they drink. It's essentially what it is.
Okay, so Fortuna, I'm gonna say, if this is okay to say, that she has some type of like a whistle or something, that since we've been doing some things together, that if she, kind of does a whistle, that everyone would sort of know to look at her. And so she wants to see if she can, kind of do a little, kind of put hands and fingers whistle and see if she can get the other four's attention. Which may even be like as Vincent is about to like take a drink.
The goblet's in my lips.
Right. And
Already drinking. He said he drank. He said he drank. Boom. He's drinking.
Fair.
Oh, I'm drinking.
Okay.
Maybe he doesn't maybe he sips more than gulps, but that's what she would like to do, is kind of get everybody.
Hey, this is pretty tasty, isn't it?
No.
I'm going to go in for a second one. What do you think?
So you
was she whistling about?
And Fortuna tries to get everyone's kind of eyes on her to come over so that she can tell them. So like whoever comes over first, she would say, do not take a drink. Do not take a drink. I believe that is one of the ways to help the vote, is to reduce the electorate. Do not drink.
Okay.
Don't drink the blood. Okay.
It's wine coming out of the wall, but don't.
Please.
It was wine. It was definitely wine you were drinking.
I doubt this alcohol will take me out.
Blood wine somehow.
Don't.
Are you trying to say that the chalice with the palace has the brew that is true?
And she sort of looks at Arkadiy, not being one for words. Yes, cousin.
Excellent.
Was that a curse you just casted? What was that?
I feel the spirit of Adam here.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? Yeah. Okay. So
So Fortuna wants to make sure that the core of us don't, and then she will try to, anyone else that voted for her, she wants to kind of go over to them. And I know you are very thirsty, but do not drink.
There's not enough time for this. Like, you're doing a lot of things when there's like literally
totally
like 20 seconds to sort of do something as you see people drinking. Vincent, you said you drank, so go ahead and you're going to give me a athletics test.
Athletics. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness I didn't drink.
Actually, what am I talking about? Health. You can do a health test. Sorry. I forgot health exists in this game. Yeah, do a health test. Randy's going to do one as well.
I'll spend 2 points. Got 5.
Okay, you're good.
Randy, you're a big healthy boy.
Big healthy boy. Okay.
Could you imagine, though, if this took him out?
Right?
So as everyone is drinking here and there, and if you guys decide not to drink, that's fine. But if you do have to roll a health test. You suddenly hear the sound of Papa, and you look over and you see in the like where the Cortezes are, you can see the old man, Franco, begins to collapse at this point. His face turning this like big bright purple, and he kind of falls on his side and starts to kick and twitch, and like Aloysius is coming around him and just like, Papa, help him, please, somebody help him, please, somebody. And like all
run over and like I can't do a bind wounds on him or something.
You rush over, and by the time like you get to him and put your hand on him, his like, you feel his pulse has basically stopped. You can feel like his heart, when you put your hand on his chest, has essentially like the last beats underneath your palm, and you can see his eyes roll back in his head, and he is literally dead on the floor by the time you get to him. Took like 6 seconds.
It's too late. I'm sorry.
Perhaps you should vote more wisely next time, young Aloysius. Your father made a promise to me, and then he betrayed me. Perhaps you will do right on the next round of voting and honor him.
He kind of looks up, there's like tears streaming down. He looks at you guys, looks at her.
Don't vote for your father's murderer.
So are we going to kick this off now or what?
I'm waiting on you guys. Like,
I mean, Arkadiy's waiting on Fortuna to make it, to pull the trigger on what our actions are going to be. But
I would say Fortuna is hopeful to be able to get votes, but
you know that it has to be unanimous. You know that Altavera is probably not going to vote for you. And when you call her a murderer, like Solavita,
I did nothing to Franco. That is just part of the process, you ignorant child. Each time that we vote and there is not agreement, one will fall until all decide that I am the path forward for the main wallets.
Solavita will kind of like stand up, look over at Fortuna, and then look towards Chauncey, Arkadiy, Vincent, and she's gonna go like come on, let's do this.
okay,
okay, all right. So she's going to go.
She's got no reason to attack you guys. So like she's like walking back up to the altar at this point, getting ready to start another round. So what is that? Who's doing what?
Solavita is going to walk up to the body of the Cornuccio, Chauncey's friend, and she's going to sort of reach out to him and go, "You deserved better. You deserved a statuary, just like everybody else." And she's going to use her corruption to turn him to stone so that he can become his own statue.
Oh. Okay.
If possible.
You can, yeah, like it's not an automatic. Like thematically, if you do enough damage to him, he'll turn to stone. So it's like you reach out and you're trying to do this, but it's still, since you're doing something that he's not going to want you to do, this is definitely going to require a roll on your part.
Yep.
So do your spends, and as you step up, this will kick it off.
So I will. I'm going to. If I spend my corruption, that's a +3 to my roll, right?
Yep.
So yeah, if you're using corruption.
Yeah,
that's to get the extra effect and everything.
Yes.
So remember that there are different ways to get. There's different uses for corruption. So like you can just do it to get more damage. You can do it to get. I'm looking at it. 1 point of corruption is +1 die and +3 damage, or you could do 3 damage to all on point blank range. So there's a chart on Foundry you can take a look at.
Yes. I just intended to do it specifically for him for the +3 to his damage on my sorcery check.
To your attack? To attack or okay, just to his
sorry,
damage.
to the damage. So to damage.
Okay.
And I'm going to do +2 sorcery for. Oh my god. Never mind.
Oh no.
That's be a 1 with a +2 for 3.
You reach out, and right as you're about to make contact, you see his arm whips around faster than you would kind of give it credit for. Like you would think a person in his kind of undead state. He was not. He is not lumbering and slow the way the one that you fought out in the arcade was. And he quickly swipes it away, and then you see his jaw begin to crack. You hear as his jaw starts to open up wide like a snake's might. Who is going next, Solavita? As you've kicked it off, and you can pick who goes next.
Oh gosh.
Oh shit. Vincent, it's your turn.
Tossing the goblet to the side. Casala, time is up. I should have cast you away years ago. And I'll open up the new grimoire I found here.
Okay.
Forsyth's grimoire.
Yeah.
And the voices in my head are chanting like a new spell. And that's coming out of my mouth. I'm going to use the stone sphere from it. It's going to be extra corruption.
Okay. And you're attacking Altavera directly, basically? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Got it.
Sorcery will spend 2.
All right.
Roll 7.
Hey.
A
All right,
little
that
better
is
than my
a-
roll.
Yeah, I
That
didn't
is-
roll a 1.
Do you have blast?
No, it wasn't blessed.
No, I mean, do you have blast? Remember,
Oh, I have
blast
blast,
triggers when you. Okay, so this would trigger because that is 3 over
really?
the
Nice.
target threshold of 4. So if you
Nice.
wanted to affect one other person with it, you could.
Yeah,
Just
just
her.
one of our undeads next to her.
Okay. Let's say so. Solavita went up to the Carnuccio, so maybe you do the Bonaventure one to make sure that Solavita doesn't get hit. Yeah, give me your damage.
Okay. Got a 7.
Okay, fantastic. Okay,
This is morale.
this is against morale. All right. So what is it? What do you think it looks like? Like how? Like what's visual to everybody?
Say the walls of this hall shake a bit. Some stones, pebbles break off and surround her, trying to keep her down, keep her held together.
Yeah, you fools! You're ruining the hall.
And you can tell like her insanity is beginning to sink in even more. Okay, and so the Bonaventure guy, like you could tell, he just turns in your direction. His eyes look at you. He again, like there's a consciousness to him that zombie that you all faced just felt like it was just moving slowly, but he kind of whips around in your direction. Who goes next then? As the stone begins to fall from the ceiling above.
I think Arkadiy's roaring to go.
All right, Arkadiy.
So,
Okay.
Let me paint the scene in terms of where everybody is at, so that'll help with this. So Altavira had started to move back up to the altar at the front to start a new vote. She's not quite there. She has been flanked, obviously, by both of her guards. Solavita has stepped up and is right next to the Carnuccio one, so she's in point blank range. Whereas Vincent, I'm assuming you stayed a handful of feet away. You probably didn't get right up into point blank range. You just kind of reached up. So maybe you're standing in the middle of the hall, a few steps away from the altar, and that's where the stone's coming down. Most everybody else is in the alcoves as opposed to the main hall. But we can see Vincent and Solavita, Altavira and her 2 guards, all in that central hall area in relative proximity to each other. So what are you going to do, Arkadiy?
So Arkadiy's kind of going to try to slip into the shadows and sort of disappear. So he was going to try to activate Where'd She Go?
Okay, excellent.
And I think I see. I think I'm going to spend a point of prophecy to give me a +3 on the stealth roll. That's one of the prophecy spends you can do.
Got it. Okay.
And then I'm going to spend 4 points of stealth. So that's 8, 11 on my stealth roll.
Okay. 11? Yeah, no one sees where you go. You blend into the shadows, you step behind a few people, and then like you just slip around. The rocks begin to fall, some of the walls start to crack, people's heads turn this way and that. You use the chaos to sort of slip away. And where do you reappear?
He's going to reappear right behind Altavira.
Okay. All right. And what do you do?
Oh boy. So that was my action.
Okay.
Well,
Well, sometimes you take that second thing to do. Like
yeah. No,
I wasn't
that's
sure
what
if
I'm
you were
thinking
gonna
about. He's just going to stay. He's going to stay disappeared, and he's going to reappear next round behind her.
So we'll say you found this hidden spot somewhere behind the altar, and everyone's lost sight of you at this point.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
So I guess
who would you like to go next?
We can't let her go. We can't let her and her guys go twice in a row. But I think I'm gonna let Chauncey go now and see if he can't be the big damn hero we know he is.
Oh God. Yeah, Chauncey sees that we've decided to just Leroy Jenkins this. And oh God. And he'll against all better judgment, he's at a distance, and I don't think he really wants to close in just at this time. But he's got that really fancy crossbow. I guess if we're gonna go, it's time to just use it and just go. So he's gonna try and shoot Altavira. And actually, I was gonna ask because I had a different thing in mind.
It's a normal roll. You get bonuses on damage, so you get a +2 damage.
Did Altavira drink?
Oh yeah, well, certainly.
So she did drink, but if this is the way we're going, he's just gonna join in. I'm gonna go all in, spend every point of warfare I have, and try to shoot Altavira because that's a smart thing to do. Oh God.
Nice.
Okay.
9?
Right, that's a 9. So that is a success and a crit. That would be a critical, Chauncey.
Nice.
If you wanted, so you can either do
2d6 plus 2.
So right. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry, it's being just a little funky with me here.
Sorry, you're lagging a little bit. So
it will pop up shortly. 2d6 plus 2, minimum of 4 on the first roll. Please give me something good, please.
Not a great.
All right, so we'll turn that first 2 into a 4. So it goes up to an 8. It's a pretty dumpy
8
roll,
points.
but
okay. So 8 points. So you fire this crossbow bolt. You just pull it off your back where it's been, because it's quite a big thing, and you just pull back and you fire over the shoulders of like Vincent and Solavita, and right as she is regaining her balance after the stones came down from Vincent, this bolt comes shining through, and you can see it just land in her shoulder, but then one of the snakes comes down, bites it, and just pulls it out, and you see a little bit of blood come out. And she looks down at it, and then she looks up at you.
Well, I suppose that means you're not voting for me on the next round, does it, Chauncey?
Well, I won't stand for you besmirching the good name of our friend Corteza here.
You don't even
try to get
know
that
his
one
first name.
Okay. Who do you want to have go next?
It's got to be them. Otherwise, they're going twice.
Yeah. I feel that I'm okay with that. Let's toss it to her.
You want Altavira to go? Okay.
Yeah, I don't, but
right.
But that is the strategic.
It feels appropriate.
Okay.
I've made a huge mistake.
Yeah, she is going to. Okay. So the snake comes down, pulls the bolt out, spits it out, and then you see it lift up, and you see the second one does as well, and they start floating over her head. And her head seems to sag as this happens. And you watch as their mouths open wide, and you see generating in the middle of their mouths, there's flame, and they come together and they shoot down this big bolt of fire at you, Chauncey.
Oh God, why?
I am going to use one of her spellcasting abilities and use some of my malice.
To see all the cool stuff she can do.
Yeah, it's going to be a quick round. Okay.
Such great.
That is a 10. So that's going to be a crit.
Oh, God.
Then you...
Good. Oh, I'd have to roll max to avoid that. I really like to.
Yeah, you want to think about doing dodge?
But the thing is, if I dodge, it doesn't reduce your crit. It's an all or nothing, isn't it?
It's all or nothing, yeah.
Yeah, Chauncey's a coward. Of course he would. He would try his damnedest to avoid getting fireballed. Who am I kidding?
Okay.
So I will try. I'll spend every last bit of athletics I have and try to dodge.
Dear.
Basically, I have to pray for a 6.
Yeah, we're getting really bad lag on you, Jeremy. I'm not sure if you can hear me.
It's not going to happen, but it's what he would do.
That's a
5.
9 on the roll.
5.
Okay.
So close. No.
Okay. All right. Let me. So as the ball of fire comes screaming down, it's going to do. Let me get her bonus. Okay, it is going to do 7 points of damage to you, Chauncey. So you take 7 points of damage as a bolt of fire comes flying down from the front of the hall and hits you square in the chest. Okay. Then naturally, she is going to have who she's going to have go next. She's going to have Carnuccio go next, who's standing next to Solavita, who is going to, as his mouth has been dislodging, because his jaw, and you can see his teeth begin to grow sharp, like right in front of them. They're not like normal human teeth anymore. There's these sharp fangs, and he's going to chomp down on Solavita.
Oh no!
Oh dear!
Right.
Oh dear!
Let me spend some of his malice. Okay. All right. Not a great roll, but it's still a 4. So that's a still hit.
Yep. However, I do have Bonaventure armor on, so it is -1 damage. When we get
that's
to
okay.
that.
I'm going to use one of its monstrous abilities.
Oh, you don't
so
need
I'm
to.
Spend 3. So when this creature, whatever it is, when they inflict, actually they have to inflict health damage. So let me see if I inflict health damage first. So let me see how I do on that. Okay, 5 + 1. So it's gonna be a total of 6. Minus your armor.
So 5 damage. Yeah, I'm still up.
Okay. All right. So you did take health damage. Okay. So then I'm going to use one of its abilities. So I'm going to spend 3 malice, and you need to roll a d6 + 1.
Okay.
Solavita.
All right. Let me
It's a
actually.
very ironic moment here.
4.
Don't you think? Just a little
Okay.
2.
Reduce your athletics pool by 4 points.
Oh.
Let me know where you're at.
I only have 2 in athletics, so it would be a -2.
You reduce it to 0,
Okay.
and you can no longer move as a paralysis overtakes you.
Okay.
Now, if you want to eliminate paralysis, all you need to do is get your athletics back up to 1. So as long as you're not at 0, so you can use things like spends and stuff like that. So if you happen to kill something and maybe get a general ability spend back, you could potentially get this back.
Okay.
So, but you all see Solavita just as she's moving about, suddenly slows almost like a statue. It's not petrification, it's just paralysis. So she doesn't turn into a statue, but she does become frozen effectively in place from this paralysis seeping through. And then that means he's going to get to give it to the Bonaventure guy, who's going to go after Vincent. Vincent, he's going to close the distance towards you. He's going to attempt to bite you. That's a 3. I'm rolling terribly.
Oh, no.
How is that, Vincent? What's your health?
My health threshold is 4, so you pass it.
Okay, that's a miss then. If your health threshold is 4, he comes down and he, with his head, his head is not fully elongated for the chomp, and then he tries to chomp down, and you manage to dodge out of the way. And that is his turn. And then who is left? Fortuna? Is that who's left?
Yeah.
Okay, Fortuna.
All right. I want to see if I can use the token of the constricting serpent to try to keep Altavira in place.
Okay, sure. So you close within relatively close distance of her. So you move out of the alcove that you're in, and then you step up towards her.
Yeah, and I can do it physically or mentally, so I can try to do like a sway.
You still have to get a little closer. There still is a relative distance in terms of sway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So okay, let me go back here to maneuvers again.
Yeah, you're just rolling basically an attack roll. Whatever the number is what the difficulty, and then I have to make a decision on whether I take the effect or whether I take damage.
Okay. So, so I roll a 1, like straight on my die.
Okay. So you have to use a maneuver that restrains someone physically or mentally, and the difficulty would be raised by +2. When you're doing a maneuver, though, I think you still have to pass. Let me double check.
So it's roll an attack as per usual. So
If successful, the attack sets a difficulty. It wasn't successful. With a 1, unfortunately, you were unsuccessful. So was this a morale test? Was this a health test? And
morale test.
I want to remind you guys need to spend some points. Like, before you roll, don't rip a roll without spending points, because like this is no joke, this fight. And like, if you're not spending points, you could potentially fail, and you guys might not get a second round like that. So like, I would say make sure you're spending your points. This is possibly the final fight too.
I would have spent 2 on this one, and so because I'm sitting at 3 sway. So
yeah, but you also have investigative ability points. You can always spend an investigative ability point to get a +3 on a general ability roll, as long as you can justify how you're using it, and you have plenty of those. So just you guys really need to go all out on this fight, is what I'm saying, because this is very dangerous. But that's going to be a miss because you didn't call out ahead of time. So I'm going to hold to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But new round begins. And I'm going to say, just to keep the other NPCs, there's some Fortuna supporters, there's some Altavira supporters. So we'll say that they're fighting each other just to keep them out of your hair. So Fortuna, who do you want to go to pick up this next round?
Arkadiy.
All right, Arkadiy, you're hiding behind this altar. No one sees you.
So he's gonna slide out, and I'm gonna spend a point of my Thieves Guild. So I think, he's been training with the thieves for a long time. So I think he's gonna spend that to get a +3 on this first attack roll against Altavira's snakes. I don't know why that rolled. It was just supposed to be the spend. And I will spend, in addition to that +3, I will spend 3 warfare. And remember, since he's attacking from stealth, due to his skullduggery, he gets +2.
Absolutely,
if he hits to do damage. So
I think you're gonna hit. I think you're gonna hit.
So that's a 9 to hit.
9 is a crit. It's a crit.
Nice work.
So I think
oh my gosh.
So that's 7, 8, 9, 10 points of damage and bypasses 2 points of armor.
Okay, 10 points of damage, bypasses 2 points of armor. You definitely, as you stab into her, one of the things you notice, Arkadiy, is that she it doesn't feel like you're stabbing into like a human, in the sense that when you stab into them, there's an explosion of blood. You can see them like wince from the pain. It's almost like you're stabbing into just something that's dead, because you stab in. There's no reaction from like pain or anything like that, and like there's bits of blood that come out. There's like dark viscous blood that come out, but it doesn't come out in a way that you would expect it to splurt. Is it all just feels deadened and thickened, but not. There's something very, very peculiar about it.
He yells out, he's like, "Cousins, this body, whatever it is, not quite alive. I think perhaps sorcery might be needed to expel the spirit." But he will go ahead. Does he feel like he did anything to her?
Oh, you did damage. No, you're quite certain you did damage. It's just she didn't like react the way a person who you stab and then survives that stab would react. Like when Macaulay and the other ones, they were like reaching for their swords, their blood was sort of flying out of them. She just you stab her and she turns and looks at you with these like dead eyes.
Okay. I will spend my point of Tactics of Death to take a second attack.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to spend, if I hit, I'm going to spend 1 point of Spot Frailty to get an extra die of damage.
Okay, good. Arkadiy
And
is just wailing on her.
Yes,
I will
it is.
spend. I will spend 4 points of warfare on this attack.
Okay.
Now, yeah. So a 9 to
As
hit.
another crit. Yeah, it's another crit.
All right, Arkadiy.
So let's do some damage, and then I'll roll an additional d6 after this. Oh, I think maybe I can add in. No, okay. I'll just 4, 9. That's 11 plus 3, 14 points of damage, bypassing 2 points of armor.
Got it. Okay. You put like 3, 4 stabs. You just stab. Not an issue at all. Like, and she's just watching it happen. And like you can see the snakes are still kind of turned behind and facing as they're recovering from shooting that bolt of fire, but they suddenly snap around towards you and they seem to start to lean down in your direction. But she just looks at you, and her face looks kind of dead. You don't really see pain, and like little bits, again, this dark, thicker than usual, more viscous than usual blood just begins to slowly seep out of the wounds, but she doesn't fall. In fact, you're not even sure if she's slowed down at all.
Unfortunate. Vincent, do something.
I'm on it. And you see my eyes glaze over. They start glowing a bit to see if you get a sense of possession happening on her with Spirit Sight.
When you kick into Spirit Sight, she most certainly is possessed. You see a very strong spiritual aura. This is something that you guys knew this already, but you can confirm and you can see it there, no doubt.
Then I'll spend 2 points of Spirit Sight to possibly remove the insubstantial special ability from a creature. If it's,
she is not insubstantial.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, she is not insubstantial though. So like, so a ghost is a spirit is insubstantial, but she is not insubstantial. She's very much substantial.
Okay.
So like that would have been, for instance, like when you guys were in the scriptorium and the ghosts and stuff like that, doing that would have made the ghost suddenly attackable by everybody else. But in this case, because she is possessed, like she herself isn't, she doesn't have the substantial trait.
Makes sense.
Then I will simply use my Spirit Sight spend for a +3 on sorcery.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Okay.
Continue
This is
to
the
use
chains, the stones. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'll continue to use what I can out of this Orsize grimoire. I'll try the metal sphere from it.
Okay.
I'll spend 2 from sorcery to get a total of +5 to this roll.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh,
+3 on this
Yay.
makes it 11.
11 is a crit. Or if you
Nice.
wanted a blast is possible. You could also, if you wanted to do that, that's
I'll go
another
for a
option.
blast.
Okay, so
So I'll
11
continue
would
blasting to the one
be,
eventer.
you'd be able to attack, you actually get 2 more, your +7.
Oh.
You could actually target 3 if you wanted.
Okay, if the other undead is close enough.
Yeah, you guys, I was describing it as you guys are all right at the base of the altar. It's like you're right out in front where this is fighting. Arkadiy popped up behind it. You and Solavita were sort of stepping up close to it. Solavita got right next to one of them. You stayed a couple steps back. Fortuna and Chauncey are a little bit further away, and so you are close enough that I would say all 3 of them could get hit.
Then I'll spend the corruption from the grimoire as well. The +1
Okay,
bonus dice.
I like it. You're still gonna have to do corruption tests and everything like that, but
Yeah.
absolutely. Oh,
Ooh, low rolls.
terrible roll.
But I spent
no.
2, so the minimum was 2 at least. So 4, it'll be 5 total.
5 total damage. Okay, going across. This is
Across 3
morale you
targets.
do.
It's not bad. Yeah, morale.
Do you have anything that bypasses grit?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. So go ahead. All right. The one. So you reach out. So what does it look like as you cast a spell? Like, what do you think it visually looks
Yeah,
like?
I enact another true name from the grimoire, and that ghost appears in my mind. It starts chanting that spell towards me, and it activates the metal. So the metal in the room, the goblets, whatnots, they fuse together and start wrapping around all 3 of them.
You see all these extra goblets that were unused begin to lift off off the table, kind of fuse together. They create these big, long, almost like club-like things and just fly through the air. They bounce off of like the Carnuccio. They bounce off the Bonaventure. They hit Altavira. And it's more annoying than it is like physically hurting them, but it's harassing them, right? It's like, so it's, since it's targeting the morale, enough so that it takes the Carnuccio's attention away from this slowly, like not shrinking, but no more, like the movement has stopped from Solavita, and it looked like he was about to go in for a second bite. He gets hit and kind of turns in your direction. And then the other one right next to you is also hit as well. So yeah, all of them took damage. None of them fell. I would say of the three that have attacked, definitely the Bonaventure, which is next to you, Vincent, has taken, is the furthest along. He looks a little bit more winded than others. Who would you like to go next, Vincent?
Let's go Chauncey.
All right, Chauncey, you just got blasted by some fire. You've got this stolen crossbow in your hand. Solavita's not moving. What do you want to do?
Oh God, she's been shot. She's been stabbed. She's been stabbed so much. And oh God. I mean, I guess Chauncey doesn't understand all this magic nonsense, but he can see that like stabbing the crap out of her doesn't seem to be doing that much. So instead, he'll switch tactics. And I'd like to do a sway attack against Altavira. Maybe using taunt for a +3, because what he wants to do is to basically call out Altavira. So this is really what you're settling on. You just gotta let that son of a bitch tell you what to do, push you into this. Look at the monster you become. It would be one thing if you won this fan scrap, but this is not you. You're stronger than this. You're better than this. This is despicable. Shame. Shame.
Okay, give it a roll. That's great. That's perfect.
Shame.
Taunt spin.
Shame.
You're a bell.
Right. Exactly.
Isn't that the woman from Ted Lasso?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Shame.
Forgot to actress's name. She's awesome. All right, Chauncey, how did we do?
And then
waiting for the roll to come
so
through.
I'll put 2 points of sway into the roll as well. But we'll
I
just
think
know
our
+3
new. Oh, there it goes.
after that.
Okay. 5 is a hit. 5 will be a hit.
Oh man, did it not?
Yay.
Do that?
Okay.
Sorry.
Yay for the hit.
I don't think it added the +2.
All right.
My Simp's being funny.
Okay.
So it should have a total of
So-
+5 at the end of it.
Yeah, I think you're just lagging pretty bad between the
So
two.
it should be
We'll have
what, 10? It should be 10. Because I
Okay,
spent
so that's a
2
10. Okay,
from
so that's a crit.
taunt.
So that means you're going to roll 2d6
So
plus
roll
1
to 5, 3
for
from
your-
spinning the
your
taunt,
morale
and 2
damage
from sway.
against her. That's the problem right now. Is
So
that
for a
you've got
total of 10.
which is a crit. So it's 2d6 plus 1 for damage.
Okay.
He's like catching up. Yeah, 2d6 plus 1.
All right. Sorry, my system's being very funny with me.
Yeah.
2
If you want, you could always close down Foundry,
Fine.
and I could just call it out to you, and you can roll local.
Yeah, if you've got physical D6s to roll.
Okay. I
think I see a 7 for 2d6
Okay.
plus 1.
Yeah, we got you. Okay. So she turns around,
Okay.
but not fully, like just over her shoulder, because like Arkadiy was still in front of her attacking her. But she looks over her shoulder down at Chauncey, and she says,
We must do what we can to take the power that is rightfully ours. Fortuna connected you and the others. I have my allies. What I have done is no different than what she has.
and she turns
so
around.
different.
and
If
you
it
can
was just you, I might even vote for you. But come on, this isn't you.
You would never vote for me.
I
He
have
screeches
never said
out.
a crossword to you ever, and you know it. I've done nothing but applaud your energy. And it is true, Chauncey's never said a negative thing to her.
in her presence,
To her.
In her presence.
to her face.
Yeah.
to her
Not a negative
face.
thing. To her. Certainly negative
People
things.
do report stuff back to her. Yeah. Okay. Who's going next? Jeremy.
This is all sorcery bullshit. So let's go with our other sorcerer, Solvita.
I would recommend that you don't, because she can't do anything.
Yeah.
Until you guys
She's got the
kill
whole paralysis
one of the
thing.
others to get some refresh tokens to allow her to get her athletics back. She's
Okay.
stuck. This is how you're gonna. So you guys
I'll
got
go
to focus
Fortuna
fire
then,
one down.
because we have
Get her
one
back.
zombie who's pretty low on morale, apparently, and maybe if Fortuna is able to take care of that, that might free up some points for Solvita.
Okay. So I want to review a couple things. One thing to keep in mind, and I know I actually have to roll a successful roll, but I do have my spot frailty up to a 2 for my pool. And so when I have that, once you reach 2 or more ranks of spot frailty, the benefit applies to both armor and grit, allowing you to automatically ignore 1 point per rank of each. So if I'm successful, I can ignore either 2 armor and 2 grit, depending on kind of which way I go. So I just want to say that out loud before I do the thing. And so then I am then going to do a sway, and I will focus on do a sway attack on the one that has gone down the most, which I think was the Bonaventure.
Yes, he is the lowest. I will once again reiterate, spend points before the roll.
Yep.
And then don't forget, you can spend points for damage too. So you guys do need to do, like Arkadiy or Vincent are doing, or Arkadiy is doing the type of damage all of you should probably be doing in a round. Like everyone should be doing 10, 12 damage, not like 10 and then because the rest of you combined are doing the same as Arkadiy. So you want to try to build up more offensive output, or else you guys are going to be in a little bit of trouble.
Are you shaving my low rolls, Jeff?
I didn't want to call you out by name, but you need to roll better.
Okay, so I am going to spend 1 ability to get a +3. So I want to combo that with. So I want to do kind of spending the ability for a +3, and then spend the 3 sway that I have. For
so you're spending the nobility to get a +3. Are you using that as is it because you're attacking another noble, what would your family think or something? Is that what you're doing to justify the spend?
This is, it's sort of that, we we have our camps, and you don't cross the camps. You're not benefiting from this. You are a disgrace to your name to have been wrapped up in all of these things.
He's undead, but yeah.
Sure.
I don't think he joined this intentionally, but okay. That's fine.
And so I have, so I'd like to spend so it'll be a +6. So 3 from the nobility, and then the 3 from sway.
What's the total?
It's going to be a 9.
Okay, 9 will be a crit.
Okay. So then with because I also played a crowd, so I can, I think, technically hit multiple of them.
Play the crowd, you can't if you're going to take the crit. You have to do one or the other.
Right.
Just like cleave, just like blast. It's one or the other.
That's right. Taking the crit. So I'm rolling.
I would strongly encourage you to spend more points to do more damage, because you're probably not going to do enough damage on your own unless you're literally look at your sheet, and by the end of this session you should be at 0 across because you need to
spend city secrets. So I'll also within the city secrets, basically something that I know about the Bonaventures, that again would sort of continue to kind of go with this sort of morale attack against, your family was trying to cover up the, some very tawdry thing that happened. So that's kind of what she's kind of pulling up and referring to, of just the kind of disgrace of this Bonaventure. So that'll be
It gives you an extra dice. It gives you an extra die. So you should be rolling 3d6. 3d6 plus 1 should be what you're rolling now.
All right. A little bit of everything. 13.
Okay. 13.
Yes.
All right. And you said you had spot frailty that goes through some of his grit. And literally because of that, you see as he looks up at you, he hears your voice, the shame coming. And you see for a moment as his mouth is trying to open up, the chin just, and he looks down at his hands, and he looks at you, Vincent, and then he looks at Althavira, and you can see his eyes no longer have that kind of far away look to them, but instead for a moment he looks like the Bonaventure that you know, and he says, "What has happened?" And then falls to the ground. 3 refresh tokens go into the pool, which means Solovit, you can grab one.
Please.
I figured you would.
Move.
Very much. Okay. And it also means, Fortuna, you can pick who goes next. Solovita is the only one on your side that hasn't gone. And then I have my people's.
Do them.
Okay. How do we want to
attack her with the other one now?
Let's make we spend the refresh tokens before they go.
You don't have to spend them right this second. You can spend a refresh token at any point. You don't have to spend them now. You can wait until you need them and then spend them.
All right. So there's 2 sitting there. I will do the strategic thing. Go ahead. Altavira -1 sidekick.
Okay. Altavira was just attacked by Arkadiy. And so I think she's going to turn her attention to obliterating Arkadiy. I think that seems only fair. Exactly.
Reasonable.
And that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Totally reasonable. Okay. I am going to go all out. So I am going to... The serpents come back. Their mouths begin to, you can see they begin to glow with fire, and they just begin to rapidly kind of come down and chomp at you. This is a spell casting attack. I'm just flavoring it as them melee attacking you, but it is still a sorcery attack, effectively. It's targeting your health. I'm going to spend another one of my spell casting uses. And something else. Okay. Here we go. All right. It's a 4. It's a 6 total.
That's a hit.
All right. But not a crit. So I'm going to spend 3 malice to get extra damage on this. So since I didn't crit, and I think that's all I got. All right. Here we go. That's 10 points of fire damage onto Arkadiy as these things.
I'm at -2.
Okay, -2. If you had armor or anything like that, by the way, your armor would still protect you.
Okay, so then I'm at -1.
Okay, so you got to do your health test to stay conscious. So it's a health test, difficulty of 4. Remember, you can spend health ahead of time if you wanted to boost that roll. So you can hurt yourself a little bit more to take a little boost. It's up to you.
Can I spend an investigative point to get a +3 on the roll?
Absolutely, which means you'll pass, no issues. You're good to go. Don't even bother rolling. And you stay conscious. Absolutely. But you feel these fangs sink into you, sear through your skin. You can see pieces of your clothes begin to catch on fire as they snap away. Then the Carnuccio one will go next. Obviously, he was distracted from his attacks on Solovita by Vincent, who started melding these metal goblets and throwing them. So he is going to charge at Vincent instead, and he's going to attack Vincent. And I'm going to spend some malice for a bonus on this. That's a 7 total. Okay.
Spend a villainous intent to get +4 to my grit or health threshold.
Excellent.
Or
health. Yeah, this is going to target. He's physically attacking you, so you'd probably want to do your armor. Okay.
Nice.
All right. Okay, that's good because if he does do damage, I can do what I did to Solovita to you. Okay.
That'd be real bad.
6 total. So
Still
what is your
take
armor?
2.
Okay. Because you took damage, then I can spend 3 from my malice to do this paralysis attack. Roll a d6 plus 1. How
A2.
did you do? Okay. Reduce your athletic score by that number. Are you still in the positive?
Yeah, 5 to 3, so I'm good.
Nice.
Okay, then you're not paralyzed, but you do feel a venom begin to course through you. But as the head rips away, you can see it didn't get like the full dose of it. And then it's going to be Solovita's turn. As you get your limbs begin to come back, you could feel them again once more.
Oh, you motherfucker. Okay. I am going to pull out my dagger. I'm going to use a point of First off, I need to attack, so I'm going to use a point of skullduggery to get a +3 on my warfare attack. Because I'm being a little sneaky and backstabbing him while he's facing Vincent. And then I am doing +2 on my warfare, so that is a total of 9.
9 will be a crit. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
4.
And,
4 health potions. Yeah.
And then I think I am going to do this to him. So the classical family poison. Now, Jeff, this isn't in your notes, but if you look at page 90 on Swords and the Serpentine, it talks about poisons, and this is something that we kind of have to agree on the effect of.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to spend a point of Leechcraft. I would love if it inflicted 3 health or 3 morale damage per round for a certain number of rounds, but I'm willing to negotiate.
No, I'm cool with that. Yeah, so...
And I think it's... would it...
Roll a d6.
Okay.
Roll d6.
6.
Okay, so we'll say it's going to do 3 points of damage for the next 6 rounds if it's still alive after that point.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, this is a nasty thing, by the way. So she pulls out our classic family poison pulled from Grandma's skin journal. Just like Grandma used to make it. And then can I throw in another point of skullduggery to get a bonus die on the damage as well?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So let's spend that.
2d6 plus 1, and then he's going to have the 3 damage for the next 6 rounds. I doubt we're going to go 6 rounds, but yeah, you've got it if you need it.
Okay.
So good.
All right, so that's 8 points of damage as a knife protrudes from his back, and he feels some sort of sorcery laced poison start to pulse into him.
It would be 9, I think. I think you would get a +1. It's pretty standard to get a +1 on a warfare attack.
Fair enough. My bad.
No, it's good. So that's gonna. All right, most of that does get through, but you definitely can tell that you are attacking what you would probably presume. You're familiar with this. You're a leech to some degree. You have practice in this. He's like a corpse as far as you're concerned. He feels like a corpse. He's more mobile and more. He moves more quickly than the one that you attacked with Chauncey and such. But his flesh seems dead. And like you don't even really see blood coming out of him at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. New round.
New round 3. 3 points of damage to him.
I don't know if it's be at the top of the round. No? I think it would probably be at
on my turn. His turn. Okay, his turn. Fine.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. I'll accept that.
We'll do it on your turn. We'll do it on your turn because that's when you inflicted the damage. I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Nice try. Top of the
round. Negotiations. I'm open for negotiation.
It wouldn't have been enough to kill him, but it would have been close. Okay. Yeah, he's looking pretty rough. Like you can chunks of him have fallen off, but he's not bleeding so much as just as pieces of him are falling apart.
And she'll probably say to Vincent something like, I got him if you keep going after Alvera. Whatever, ant.
Okay. So Vincent, is that who you're targeting? Okay, Vincent.
Yes.
All right. I'll drop the Grimoire for now since I've expended uses of it.
It breaks 1,000 pieces. Never use it again.
Oh no.
go back to an old classic, the Spear of Chains. Use my own sorcery here. And start tethering the snake heads together. Try to bind them a bit.
I like it. Okay. All right, are we doing this as a maneuver, or are you doing this?
Yeah, a maneuver would be cool.
Okay, I like it.
Spend 2 points in my sorcery.
All right, give me the roll.
Oh, that's a good roll.
That's a better roll.
Holy crap. All right, so I basically get a choice. So that what's the total? 8? Is that right?
Yeah.
All right, so so the difficulty is 8. So I either accept the effect of the maneuver or I suffer damage equal to the difficulty -2. I am going to suffer the damage equal to a difficulty -2. I'm going to take 6 points of damage because I want my snakes free. But you did do 6 points of damage. As they start to wrap around, and you can see, like, for a moment you think you have them, and then a third one pops up from behind, like, and underneath her hair, and just snaps and bites through the spectral chains, sending them free again. But in the process, like, you managed to kind of tear down some of their scales a bit. But it's still damaged. Okay. Who's going next there? Want her to go next?
It's a good try. Very tricky.
Yeah,
You almost got me. I almost said yes.
You might as well give it to the guy who's going to get the damage on his turn.
Arkadiy, he's doing really solid here.
Are you insulting our little rolls again?
Me?
So
No, I said give it to my guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the guy who was going to get the.
I just want you guys to survive, and so I wanted to remind people to spend a lot of points to do a lot of damage, because I was worried things were not looking good, but now it's looking better. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
go ahead.
So question.
Yes.
If I have a flashback, can I have had a flashback using prophecy to have some sort of talisman or something that will exorcise the spirit out of Altavira's body?
I think that's too much. Okay. I don't.
I think that. I thought I'd ask.
That's a great question.
So
I will tell you right now,
thought it was reasonable.
as we are in the heart of the fight. Had you guys, and I said this to Melissa the other night too, I was kind of shocked that you guys never were like, we should go check out Altavira's room, because if you would have gone and checked out Altavira's room, you would have seen, like, you would have potentially found Pelletier's statue, and that would have given you a lot more control over this fight. I was just kind of surprised, like, no one decided to do that.
And it was funny because when he said that, I was like, that literally never crossed my mind.
Makes a lot of sense, but I thought, I'm like, oh, they probably want to go check out.
And
the room.
by Pelletier's statue, you mean Castellar's statue?
Pelletier, I'm sorry, Castellar's statue.
Pelletier's still alive, unless there's something completely you're about to pull on us.
Bus?
Yeah,
she has it.
Actually dead? Oh my god!
If you would have had it, you would have known. You would have potentially had more power. You could have actually called him back into the statue. Yeah.
All right. So he's going to. Can I get one of those refresh tokens so I can get a little bit more warfare?
Seems like a good use of it. Go for it.
All right. Okay, so I will spend my point of intimidation to get a +3 on the attack. Basically, like, he's lunging at her and trying to make her flinch. That'll give him a chance to maybe get in. And if he succeeds on this attack, I will use a point of vigilance to get an extra die of damage.
Gotcha.
And I will spend 2 points of warfare. My last 2 points of warfare for this attack will be this +3.
All right.
So 7.
All right. 7 is not a crit, but it would be a cleave if you've got cleave. It is 3 over.
Yep, I do have cleave.
You could potentially get a stab her, spin around her, stab into the back of Carnegie, because they're kind of like almost back to back at this point. She's turning and facing you where you were hiding. He is turning and facing out towards the hall. So if you stab her, spin around, you could probably get the second one in if you wanted to.
All right. So I'll spend that point of vigilance to get the 2 dice of damage. Nine points of damage.
All right. Okay. All right. So
-2 on their armor. -2 on armor for both of them.
Gotcha. Okay. She's still kicking. You stab her again. You spin around. She's slowing. You can definitely tell, like, as she tries to spin around towards you and follow you. The snakes are moving quickly, but her body is definitely starting to break down. You can see from all the damage that you have done to it. You're seeing chunks, much like these other two, kind of falling away from her. Like, you can see flaps from her dress are just are falling from where you've cut. And then, like, the flesh itself is just flapping open. Bits of, like, slow moving viscous blood are starting to pool. But the snakes are just one after the other, and you manage to dodge underneath them, and you stab your axe, your sea axe, right into the back of Carnuccio. And Chauncey, you see your dear friend Carnuccio's head just suddenly fall forward and then snap. And you see his head is now falling onto the ground, rolling down the steps in the hallway, and his headless body is right there on the steps themselves, sways, and then collapses. It's 3 more refresh tokens, as you've taken out both of her bodyguards.
Nice.
Dear Chauncey, avenge your friend. Stop Eltavira.
Okay. Okay. So he will. And I'll be greedy. I might even take all 3 of those points to go towards warfare.
Okay. Let's still leave 1.
And then I'd almost like to do. Could I potentially like use a trustworthy add, or can you spend warfare afterwards to add to the damage?
No. You can spend an investigative point afterwards.
The damage.
Yeah. You can spend the trustworthy.
I don't think I have any investigative points that would help me add to damage, because basically I have like charm and trustworthy.
Hey man, if you can make it make sense, I'm always gonna say yes.
So part of what he wants to do, the way he want to approach this is like, please, he'll basically kind of like do a little bit of a pity party. Please, Antefia, if it was, this isn't you. I was brought into this family. My own mother just left me. And nobody in my family would ever tell me why. You're the only one who ever told me anything about her. You're the one that ever talked to me about my family, about where I'm from. It was only you. You're the only one who ever bothered to tell me anything. Please, Altavira, please, I'm begging you. This isn't you, and you know it, and I love you, and I'm sorry that I can't help but help Fortuna, but this isn't you. You're the one who told me about the time that my mother stole the pendant. You know it. And then just kind of like do these tears, like crocodile tears.
Crocodile tears. Yeah.
And then just at the last moment. No, spend the warfare, but possibly use trustworthy.
Yeah, I'm going to say like she turns. She looks like she's about to attack Arkadiy, like right in the back as he turns and stabs the guy. And then you start talking and she stops for a moment. Chauncey, no. And then you fire. As like you see for a moment, there is this like bit of Altavira that comes through, and the bolt fires. What's your roll?
Oh god, I feel so
bad. Crocodile tears for the win. Look at this.
Right in the forehead, dies.
So I need to
like big trouble.
Reload my. I feel so dirty. So I'll do the war.
This is who you built.
Trustworthy.
That was disgusting. How could you?
I know. I still feel bad.
You're good. That's a hit. 6 hits. Yes, okay. It's not crit. It's a hit.
And I'll use damage maybe because I crocodile.
Absolutely, because you sort of just flavored it. You just sort of flavored it right there. Absolutely. You got her to lower her defenses for a second, where she was just going to say something kind back to you.
2d6 plus 2.
Show the true colors.
Oh god.
All right.
Bad.
You're rolling really great, though. Dear God.
Oh, nice damage.
Okay. 12.
Awesome.
Oh, my God. Okay. I'll tell you this. If you guys had all done the same type of damage, she would be dead by now. But because it's split between morale and health, she is still kicking. But you definitely see as you shoot, she looks back up at you, and you don't see anger. You just see a little tear coming down the side of her cheek.
This is why I always knew you would choose her over me. That is why I have found my own allies. And that is why we will burn you to cinders.
And like suddenly it's gone
enough.
again. Who's going next there?
Who's left to go?
Technically me, because I ended the last round.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. So I guess Sylvia
And Fortuna.
And Fortuna.
Sylvia
I
and
think
Fortuna.
Oh.
Fortuna and Solovita both have to go. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I got myself mixed up a little bit. So no, yeah.
So
Classic
Sylvia
Jeremy.
can go, and then
Forgetting women are in the game.
I don't know what I'm doing. It didn't even time.
Ouch! Oh,
It's fine.
dagger to the heart.
I don't. It doesn't
Can we
even
kick
hurt.
the GM?
It's
Vote to
fair.
kick the GM on this tribal.
You can certainly try. Certainly try. right. All right, who's going?
Tribal council. That's what it was. Yeah. Sorry, Jamie.
So-
I interrupted. Who are you choosing?
Who did you end up picking?
It's all sorcery nonsense. I'm going Solovita.
Okay.
Okay. And she is going to kind of like run up to Altavera, and she is going to tap into Forgotten Lore for a +3 to sorcery, because this is some ancient magic that she's drawing from. And then, so one of my drives is never bend the knee for the unworthy, and she does not believe in Altavera, so I think this is a great time to invoke that and get another +1 on that attack.
I think that
Roll.
makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
nice.
So that is a +4 to my sorcery roll. I'll just roll this. Here we go.
Oh.
Why the
Five.
balls on my sorcery? So that's 5.
Okay. Which some of that will go through. Some
No,
of that
that's
will go
just
through.
a hit. That's just a hit.
Oh, it's the hit. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that'll
yeah,
hit. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, because I rolled a 1 last time on my sorcery, this time I would actually like to invoke the corruption for the additional damage / unique spell.
Okay.
And that is to try to statuary her. Well, I do the
Okay.
additional damage. And how many, sorry, Melissa, how many spare points do we have? Just one? How
Yeah,
many
so there's
audience
one-
points do we have?
We're fine with audience. So if you have not done your once per arc investigative,
Not
refresh,
investigation. I was hoping for general, but that's okay. I'll
Just
take
one.
the 1 for general for sorcery on top of the corruption. And what else can I pull? City secrets, because I'm stabbing her in an unknown region.
That is so
Wow.
dumb.
Oh.
But it made us laugh,
Your
so you could
ass
have
is
it.
so
That is
big,
so
it's
dumb.
city secret.
That was so stupid.
I'll take it.
Oh
I'll
my
take it for the dumbness.
I'll take it.
Okay, so that's
Oh, goodness.
on a blast. So that is 9 points of damage plus the corruption die, which I forgot to add. So I'm adding
Extra D6.
yes, an extra D6 to that. Sorry, I have to get below all my other open tabs. Another 5. So
Nice.
that is 14 points of damage. And I'm hoping to
Okay.
statuary her.
Well, she's not going to turn into a statue, because if she turns into a statue, she's
A
dead.
little bit of stone.
But what I'll say is you see some of her skin begin to turn rocky. And so you can see kind of snaking up her neck and onto her face and her cheek. It kind of turns this dry rocky texture. As your spell does seem to have worked a bit, but she is still mostly functional. Okay. All right. Who would you like to go next?
I believe we need her to go so that then Fortuna can go and...
No, go ahead
Nope.
and have Fortuna go.
Okay, fair enough. Fortuna can go, hopefully, enough damage.
Oh dear, my anxiety level just shot up like 5 points with that.
Oh, sorry.
You got this. You're fine. You can do it. You're the least worst option in the room.
Drive for a +1 to attack. You can do your refresh with the audience. Make Jeff laugh for an additional 3.
Jeff won't laugh.
Most of my laughs are fake because we're on stream, so I want to make you guys look good. Really, I don't find anyone but Long funny.
Fair.
Hit her
I mean,
in the
really.
unknown regions of her body.
Jeff's primary emotion is contempt.
It's actually kind of accurate. Plus, I can tell you. Oh goodness.
Oh dear. Okay. So okay. So the reason that I'm hemming on this is because I don't have access to any sway left, so that is problematic. Because like
there's one refresh point if you wanted to take that last refresh token.
So took that.
+1.
There are none left. I just hadn't pulled that out, so there are none left for me. So that's problematic.
I need the one. Sorry.
You can spend an investigative point to get a +3.
Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna have to do, and that's gonna be the only. So I will spend. I think spot frailty makes sense for the investigative skill spend.
Sure.
And I would like, and I don't actually know that this works necessarily, but I do have like, welcome Raiders of Blue Cottage D&D. All sorts of things are going on over here.
Very nice.
Welcome in. I have an ability to spend, so I'm not sure if I can spend those like allegiance points towards kind of pluses with this, because it's not.
Depends on what you're doing with it. Depends on how you justify it. Yeah, I mean, if you can justify it, I'll take it.
Yes, I am hopefully rolling better than my brain will come up with words to just eviscerate what's left of her psyche, essentially, with this.
Okay.
So this is kind of sway attack.
So you've got nobility ranks. You have rumors. You know what people think about her, maybe, and so you start hurling like what the family thinks, but what other people think about her, and all of these rumors and things that you've heard that are just starting. Yeah, something like that totally works.
Okay. So this is going to be a sway that's basically going to be a +6 to this. So that's going to be a 9.
Roll. Okay, 9 is a crit. Yeah, 9 is a crit.
Okay.
Nice.
And so keeping in mind that I still have the ignore 2 levels of grit for the damage that I'm about to do, because of the spot frailty pool that I have. So for this, I am going to, running out of stuff here, I'm going to spend Liar's Tell, because this also feels like it makes sense as a spend for her being a liar and all the things that she lies about. And that's what I am like, just impaling her with my words of just how insufficient
maybe it's less about insufficient and more of her promises to not hurt any of the people who are voting for her or anything like that. You know that to be untrue, right? So you're getting like, you're calling that out, and maybe you start hearing the sounds of everyone who's been quarreling behind you and others who have been like hiding. And everyone here's a fighter. Like most of these people are hiding. You can see Randy is like got a dude in the headlock somewhere back there, you know, and just be like, "You're gonna vote for Fortuna, damn it! You heard me, right?" And then and then you start catching their attention at this point. All right, give me a roll. Roll well.
Right. I certainly hope so. So this is going to be another 3d6 for this roll.
Oh God.
14.
3d6
Nice.
plus 1, I believe.
Okay.
You should have +1.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so this is ignoring two levels of grit because of my spot frailty.
That is coming. God, that is coming to such good use. Because of that, again, you see, like, she collapses. You can see she just like the stone is beginning to streak across her face up into her forehead. She's got all sorts of wounds that Arkadiy has put into her. You can see the third serpent that came up doesn't just seem to be, beneficial to helping those two serpents, but it seems to have strained her even further. And she collapses onto her knees. And she's like reaching out in your direction, Fortuna. Vincent, you watch in your spirit sight as you can see this spirit begins to detach and pull from her. And right as it comes free, you see her body fall face first onto the steps and begins to slide down. But you see the ghost of Castlear Mainwallen is beginning to drift away, Vincent, as he seems to have freed himself. Fortuna, you just watched Altavira fall. As far as you know, she's dead. She's collapsed. You see the dead bodies of her Bonaventure and Carnuccio bodyguards. Who do you want to go next?
I want. I'll throw it to Vincent.
Actually, there's only really one person you can
Justin,
throw it
right?
to. It would be my turn. It'd be Castlear.
Yes, it's Castlear's turn.
Haha, trick question.
What you
I'm
got, Aaron?
gonna spend my point of vigilance to seize the initiative.
Okay.
Ooh.
Can you do that even after you've taken your turn for a round?
Yeah, because this is. Oh no, I guess technically no. Yeah,
This is
I gotta
his-
wait till he
yeah.
takes his second turn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's going to go.
Okay. Oh.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm concerned.
Okay. I'm just gonna go for broke.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go for broke.
All
I
right.
get 2 rounds. So there is a skill in this game that adversaries get called Universal Attack, and
I don't like the sound
basically
of
means
that.
I can attack everybody at once. So it's sort of an AOE. It's essentially what it is. I don't want to brag or anything, but he has it. Okay.
Big bad and
Right.
all. Makes sense.
He's going to. Okay. All of you are within range. I do have to make separate attacks against each of you. And I do have to spend a lot of malice in this regard. Okay. All of you hear in your heads. You don't hear it like it's not something like that's verbal or audible. You don't notice anybody else in the room necessarily feeling this. But all of you hear the sounds in your heads of just a demonic language of some kind. And it's just like this speaking in tongue. And it's just babbling one after the other. And it gets louder and louder and louder as I am going to. Okay. One at a time. Chauncey. First one's against you. 4. All right. That's a hit on Chauncey, I think.
Yeah, even if it's morale, 4 is the threshold.
Fortuna, that's a miss. That's a 2.
Hey.
Arkadiy, 5 on Arkadiy. Arkadiy's a hit. Vincent, I don't have any bonuses. This is literally just a straight D6 plus 1. Vincent, 2 on Vincent, so Vincent's not a hit. And then 7, 6 plus 1 is 6 on Solavita. So it looks like Chauncey.
And a point of investigation to gain a bunch of a +4 on my
To grit?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do the grit. Yeah, for sure.
I'll
So let me.
spend more city secrets because into the unknown.
I'm gonna burn the last of my malice. All right, Chauncey. The tongues that you hear. Go ahead, Arkadiy.
I would also like to spend a point of spot frailty to give myself an increased health or morale threshold by +3.
Okay, +3. So for you, there's a 5, I think, against you. So
You
you
rolled a
should be
5,
good.
yeah.
Yeah. And so, Levita, were you increasing your threshold or are you increasing your grit? I'm sorry, I should have asked.
I'm doing my grit because my morale threshold is 4, and you rolled a 6 for me. I guess because
I rolled a 7 total.
Yeah, so it would need a +3 to your health or morale threshold. Okay, would it meets it beats it?
Meets it. I would still hit you.
Then then definitely grit.
Yeah.
So I can reduce the damage.
Okay, Chauncey. Oh God, Chauncey, take 11 points of morale damage.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a punch in the keister.
Damn it! I keep rolling so high against Kipster. I feel really bad. Take 12 points of
How much
morale
was it?
damage
It was
against
11?
Levita.
Yeah.
It was 11 against you, Chauncey, minus your grit.
So that puts me right at 0.
Right at 0, you're okay. I'm not going to do anything at 0. You're fine.
And sorry, you did 12 against me?
I did 12 against you.
I have -1
Yeah.
morale.
Okay, you with that have to make a morale test to stay conscious.
Yes. I will spend my liar's tell to gain a plus on. Is it a +3 on my roll for? Is it just a +1? A +3 on my roll as well for morale.
Okay. Yeah, for your test. Gotcha.
Yeah. So -1, but I'm just going to say it's a +3 on there. That is an 8, so I think we're okay.
Okay. So you're still conscious.
But I'm at -1.
New round. Arkadiy,
Now I spend my points. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I will seize initiative now.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
Now,
Does initiative mean you have to go, or can you choose who goes?
I think I have to go.
Okay. All right.
Now, could I make a prophecy spend to have a flashback and use preparedness to have something, a weapon that could affect incorporeal people or something of that nature?
Ooh.
I think that's totally reasonable. Yeah. So what do you think that weapon, what do you think it would be? What do you think, and who do you think you got it from? Is it something from the Thieves Guild, maybe?
No, I think I got it from Vincent. I think that even before this started, I had a vision that I would be fighting a ghost. And I went to Vincent and asked him for a blade that could strike out against a spirit.
Okay. So
I will make my prophecy spend to do the flashback, and I will spend all 6 points of my preparedness to make sure that this happens. So I got a 9 on my preparedness.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So he pulls this dagger, and I think it's like it looks like a rusted steel blade on a bone handle. And he's going to slice it in. I will spend. I'm getting low on everything. I will spend a point of spot frailty because I'm looking for the weakness in this ghost to give me a +3 to my warfare check. And I will spend my 1 point of warfare that's left. So okay, I got a 5.
Okay.
To hit.
Yep, that hits.
So I will spend the 1 point of skullduggery I have, my trickeriness, to get a second die of damage.
Oof.
Okay.
And now I am tapped. 11 points of damage.
Hey.
Minus 2 points of dreader armor.
Okay. Minus 2 points. Okay. So as this thing launches a spell, like you see, Vincent, you see this, I'll say Arkadiy, like you're seeing like the flickering glimpses of him and you know kind of about where he is. Vincent, you see him traveling. You see he reached out and all of a sudden Chauncey and Solovita and Arkadiy, everyone started to hear this and cover their eyes or cover their ears. And he begins to try to float away. And like you see he's going for a wall, just trying to escape. And Arkadiy, you whip around and you slash out with this weapon. And Vincent, you watch as he just poofs into thousands of small bits of this kind of greenish, bluish dust that just starts to fly upwards, downwards, against the wall itself, as it seems he is dissipated. And he's been obliterated. Take a couple heartbeats, Vincent, and you see no sign of him functioning again.
You got him, Arkadiy.
Good knife, cousin. Thank you so much for the loan of it. Let's take a vote, for God's sake.
Okay.
So Fortuna, so Fortuna, I think would thank you, cousins, and we'll kind of look around to everyone. And as you can see, we were speaking truth. This would not have been Altavira taking the head of this family. We have done what was necessary to do, and I can take this family forward. As Arkadiy said, let us vote. And so Fortuna will kind of be first to kind of cut her palm for Fortuna.
So you go up, you cut on the bodies of Fabrizio and Felipe, and you can see the body of Altavira, blood everywhere. You can see the decapitated head of Felipe Carnuccio is still right in the middle of the hallway, kind of like going to shove it to the side as you pass by it. Do all of you go up?
Yeah.
You can see at some point you see Randy. He's got like two dudes in a headlock, just making sure. And he's like, and he votes. Everybody else begins to vote, and there's no name that's uttered other than Fortuna. And once the names are uttered, the drinks come out. People take their sips from their goblets, and then you hear first like you hear like again one of the grinding sounds of machinery, and you see as the wall behind the altar just shifts, and then you can see behind the stone there is this complex metallic mechanism. And it almost sounds like it's ticking. It's like tick, tick, tick. And that's when you realize it's not coming from the door. It's coming from the other end of the hallway. And you see slowly moving down the hall, walking towards you, in all his dark and dark clothing, the sort of tattered rags. You see Alexander Dumas with his big staff, just one after the other, like limping. And each tick is the sound of his staff, like on the hall. He stops for a second and he looks down at Altavira and he just kind of shakes his head. And then he walks up a couple steps, like he's going towards this door that has been opened. He looks at Vincent. Vincent, you're scooping up his grimoire, and he gives you a smile, like a very sad smile. It's not like a happy one, but you can see it. There's a sadness to it. And then he steps past you, Fortuna, and he kind of whispers in your ear, and he says, "I was always rooting for you, little one." And then he turns and he looks at the hall. And he says, "You have chosen wisely." And as he turns back to where that mechanical device is, he reaches into his coat and he pulls out some kind of key device that, now that you look at it, Fortuna, in Sola Vita, it matches the shape of what you had found inside of the safe. And he places it into the wall. And as that ticking stops, you can see the door opens up and there is this utter black void of a hall. And he turns back towards you, Fortuna. "She is waiting for you."
Yes, of course. And Fortuna is kind of smooths out her skirt and stands up kind of as straight as she can and walks forward. Thank you. And
he gives you a very wild but friendly smile as you step past him. And he doesn't follow. He just steps to the side, his job being done, and lets you go in. Do you step inside?
Yes.
What is everyone else doing as this moment happens? Is anyone doing anything in particular?
I mean, if we're
I'm assuming that. Go ahead.
No. If we're kind of towards the end of winding, I still do have a point of charm left. And if we do need to get some of the guests to drink our little potion of forgetfulness, I might use my point of charm towards gathering people together.
Yeah.
So Levita's happy to pass Chauncey her vial of mind wash tonic as he is the charmer, to start getting that work done.
Pelletier, like Arkadiy, I'd be more than happy to help you with that if you.
Thank you so much. I don't think we could have made it through this without your leadership. I mean, let's be honest.
Oh, pish posh. I am technically the senior most member of the family now, so this is very honorable. And I'm sure Fortuna will do a fabulous job. I had every faith in her every step of the way.
Only because you're there behind her to help show the way.
That's true. What do you say we go poison our guests a bit? Make sure they.
Poison's such a strong word.
It is. It's true. It's let's toast our new patriarch. Yes. And concoct a reason for why all these people are dead. Oh dear. Yeah, we need to come up with a story, I think.
I also have a point of ridiculous luck left, but I just can't think of how to spend it.
He puts his arm around you. He's like,
okay, Arkadiy, it's a long walk back. I'm sure we'll come up with something.
Indeed.
So the two of you start walking down the hall, coming up with ideas on what possible story you could devise to convince the rest of the population that all these deaths are not your fault somehow. Anybody else doing that? Arkadiy, what were you going to say?
Arkadiy was just going to say he's assuming that this is a journey that Fortuna has to make on her own. Mm-hmm. So he would simply be waiting for her return to protect her.
Okay. All right. So you're like standing sentinel, like right next to the door.
Yep.
You can smell with your vigilance. There's not a whole lot of sound, but you can smell. It smells like the swamp in there, in fact. Okay. Vincent, anything or Solavita? You have something? Go ahead, Kipser. Looks like you were ready.
So Solavita would first slide up to maybe Vincent and Alexander Dumont and go, are you Orsith then? Some years later?
And he turns towards you.
No one has called me that in quite some time.
I am a fan of your architecture. At some point, I would like to sit down and have a conversation with you. And Vincent has collected your book. We appreciated your spells. But I need... go for it.
Welcome within the halls again?
I don't see why not. Yes.
It's like this big toothy
Sorry, Fortuna.
grin comes across his face.
I would be delighted. Yeah.
And one moment, I just need to tell a friend something. And Solavita is then going to scamper over to Arkadiy. Arkadiy, just quickly, while we wait for Fortuna, I wanted to let you know, I didn't see it before, but Vincent pointed it out, and you're cursed.
Oh yes.
You can, you are the one with the ability to find out how to break the curse. You need to use your prophecy, and you can find out. It's something maybe you can work towards.
Yes. Now that we have secured Fortuna as the matriarch, I can focus some of my attention on actually dealing with this problem myself. I have fulfilled my responsibilities that the babushka gave to me, so now I see about dealing with Frosty Autumn.
Well, if you need the eyes of a sorcerer or a little bit of a hand, you can find me, and she'll give you my proper address. I've got a family there, but you can come for dinner sometime, and we can discuss what needs to be done if you need help.
You are truly kind, cousin. I appreciate.
And then she'll stand with Arkadiy waiting for Fortuna to come back out.
Okay. About you, Vincent? Anything you're doing in this moment?
Check on Altavir's body. See how that went.
It's a good thing that you did, because right as Fortuna is stepping through the door, you notice that in the folds of her robes, you find a severed tongue, and you find a sacrificial dagger. Two items that you know are part of whatever it is that Fortuna is supposed to be doing inside.
She's gonna need this. I'll pick him up and go through the void.
Okay. You're gonna try to go in?
Right, she needs them, right? So I'll try to go and deliver it.
Right as you try to step through the door, like you hear like Orsight, Alexander Dumas. He's like, no. She must do this alone. If she returns, then she was accepted by Borda. If she does not, then we must choose again. But she can still hear you.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Fortuna.
Yes?
You couldn't need this.
Fortuna, like,
comes back.
Turns around. What is it, Vincent, that I need?
I give her a dagger in a
crusty tongue.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. Were those in? Was she holding those?
Of course she had them. She was ready.
Oh, whatever would I do without all of you? And then she kind of gets that face again, and she kind of picks up the tongue and kind of wraps it in like a handkerchief. Thank you, Vincent.
Okay, so you turn, you go into this sacral void. And it's completely black, and it's a few steps before the light behind you closes off. For the rest of you, it just looks again like the door closes, that metal, and then the stone as it kind of closes down. And he kind of looks at the rest of you with some sympathy, and because he knows that you're probably concerned. Fortuna, you're walking through what looks like a very black and brackish swamp. And it looks like you're in complete and utter darkness. Your feet are wet, as you can, like the water is kind of up to the ankles. It smells in here foul in some degree, but you don't like hear any wind. You don't hear any sounds. And just when it seems like you might have been tricked, you suddenly start seeing in the distance these orbs of blue light begin to start one after the other, lighting up around what looks like a massive island in the middle of this swamp. As you get a little closer, you realize the island itself is not, in fact, Earth, but rather breathing. This huge, gigantic, fleshy corpse in the middle of this, not corpse, I should say, body, I should say, within this sacral void. And you can see this, you can hear something kind of slithering around near your feet. And you see like the head of one of those fox serpents pops up, and then another, and then another, and then another. And you see it rise until you realize it's the Hydra that's just sort of waddling nearby. It's not attacking you. And it just begins to escort you right up next to it.
Yeah, so she kind of cleared her throat and then stopped when she saw, oh, okay, they're aware. And so she walks slowly.
So, Fortuna, you are now at the edge of this giant fleshy body. Go ahead and what do you do? What do you say? What do you do? Describe it.
Fortuna feels sort of the solo nature of this, that like she's always had others around, and Solavita's memory of things, and Vincent's ability to hear the ghosts, and Chauncey and Arkadiy's ability to talk and fight their way through things, and she's sort of desperately sort of feeling very alone, and she fumbles through kind of the bag and through the kind of folds where she kind of had the tongue and the dagger, and she's sort of just holding them out, and she's the vote has been completed, and I am here to be next in line.
Nothing reacts. Though you do recall seeing, and you did read what you need to do. It's just a question of, do you do it?
This is going to be me sifting through sheets of paper.
Seriously? You just have to eat from her. You have to carve it like the.
Oh, that's
Choke
right.
out the tongue and eat it.
Speak,
right.
toll, feast. Yeah.
Okay. So then she sort of remembers that looks at it, dagger. It does sort of a slice along the top of it. And then kind of looks around, and this isn't the tiniest of pieces. Like she took making sure she's doing it kind of properly. Takes it, swallows.
Okay. So you took a tiny little dainty piece.
No, I did not take a tiny piece. She took like a slice off the top. Yeah. It was.
You feel like a stir, like the mountain, this island stirs. You feel ripples in the water. And then like echoing around you is like a voice, or maybe it's just in your head. And it's just,
welcome, Fortuna, my child. You have done well. You have been a dutiful envoy. Many you have brought into my fold, and many more you have yet to bring. Go forth now. Rally more faithful. Make ready for my return. My vengeance. Our scourge is at hand. Soon.
And then like the trembling stops, the stirring stops. And you see the orbs around you just dim. And then you see another set begin to light up. And it seemed to be directing you away from this mass in the black.
She'll kind of look around and nod a bit and move forward. Yes.
So the last thing we see is Fortuna walks into the darkness. She finds another one of these doors that opens up. We see Fortuna stepping out into the Hall of Portraits, where at the beginning of this scenario, there were all of these paintings of past matriarchs, and there was one empty canvas, except now, as you look up above the hearth, where the canvas that was blank used to be, there's now a portrait of you, Fortuna, in all your stately glory. And that's where we're going to go ahead and end, as we are well over. And we'll backfill on just what that lie, Chauncey. Pelletier cocktail.
I have a quick pitch. Ridiculous luck can be both great and bad. When we had these terrible storms leading up, what if just by terrible and great luck, this is a world where there's monsters, right? What if during this horrible storm, eldritch monsters from the depths of the ocean rose up and attacked the port and the city in general, and we can then just say, oh shit, these terrible monsters attacked. Thank God the priest and the inquisitors were here to protect us. Philippe Carduccio himself sacrificed himself defending us. Wow. Thank God.
That's a good first draft. And I think you have a week to iterate on that. It's
excellent start.
Make sure all the I's and D's are addressed. But I like it.
Awesome
okay, Oliveira is killed. Fortuna, I also have an item I'm going to give you. We'll talk about it later. For becoming matriarch, you actually get access to some things now, as it does have a mechanical benefit. But that is it. No one died, but it was pretty dicey there for the first round. Dicey. I was really worried about you guys. Like, you guys aren't doing nearly enough damage. Do some more damage. But he worked it out.
I was trying.
Well over time.
You paralyzed me.
You were. That was
you
later.
started it. You attacked him first. You tried to turn him into a statue.
Yeah, which would have released his. I was doing him a favor. I was being a good guy.
You rolled a 1.
I rolled.
You were being. Yeah, that's true. All right, let's do a couple closing plugs. Let's see, Aaron, what's going on over on Garblag?
So you can check us out next Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Garblag Games YouTube channel. We'll be back for some more Metro Otherscape as we hang out in New Casablanca with Johnny Geist and his followers on the Ghost Train.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Let's see. Streaming for us. Actually, a couple things. First of all, Huckleberry. If you haven't heard us talk about Huckleberry before, you should go check it out. HuckleberryRPG.com or hop into our Discord. It is a game being developed by our dear friend Steven. It is cinematic action horror western. It's coming to backer kit in a couple months. You can play it now. There's a quick draw edition. And so you should give it a try. See if it's for you. Stream wise, tomorrow night, we've got Magnus Archives. So you can see aforementioned Steven running us through some spooky Hamburg, as that's where we have set our archives. Saturday, I think we're off this week. We talked about it. We're down a player, and we're down Ashley, and Ashley was kind of a very important character in the next episode. So I think we're going to take Saturday off, but we'll be back on Monday with more Time Watch, and then Tuesday, Kipser, are we starting up Tuesday? Mystery Flesh Pit. Right?
Yes.
Cypher System.
Oh God, the Cypher System.
Park Rangers.
Yeah, it's been great reading the Cypher System. I'm really enjoying
the
Cypher System. Yep.
It's good.
But
I got you.
Mystery Flesh Pit National Park, a beautiful, easy to say name for a TTRPG.
Yeah. 3 of us in that group have played Cypher System. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
We'll totally lie to you and tell you, oh no, so this is how it's done. And then
totally
it'll be
this.
our benefit. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then next week, Swords of Serpentine. But that's it for us. Who was the raid? It was a Blue Cottage D&D. Is that what you said it was?
Yes, it was. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that raid. Sorry we didn't call it out better than that. But if you haven't followed them, please make sure you do. I haven't figured out how to raid anyone yet in this new system. So I'm just going to put us on the end and say, have a great rest of your night, everybody. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Arrivederci.